Right now at 6, Missouri's governor signs a new utilities bill into law, but not everyone says the impacts will be positive.
And we've got another fairly decent start to the day out there, and then we've got that cold front with gusty winds. Talk about that in the forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, a new partnership aims to give Franklin Tech students a full ride pathway into tech careers at Pitt State.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday. It's April the 10th, and we're almost to the weekend. And between here and there, it's going to get a little chilly.
Right.
But then it's going to get really warm again.
Looks like a great weekend.
It's going to be a pretty decent weekend for us out there. Hopefully your week has gone better than last week for sure for a lot of folks. Finally able to get some cleanup done, start the repair process around Mountville and Nevada from last week's storm. So that's some good news, as we haven't had any this week. We don't have any in the forecast, at least for another several days. So that's some good news as well. Let's get you out the door for your Thursday morning. Starting with that live look downtown Pittsburgh. We are looking pretty good. Got a few clouds in our northern counties, but those will all gradually go away. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking pretty good as well, as we've got just a few extra folks out there on the road. On to the future track we go, and you can see that the only difference we're going to notice, at least initially with the frontal passage, is the winds. They're going to come out of the northwest and they're going to increase, starting to gust upwards of 30. Outside of that, our temperatures aren't that much colder than yesterday. We're only going to be a few degrees cooler today than where we were yesterday. Still just a few clouds and eventually clearing skies later. What's interesting about this morning is our temperatures warm up quickly, but then they level out pretty fast as well. They don't get as warm as yesterday. 47 in Joplin, 46 in Pittsburgh, so not too bad compared to yesterday. Around the region, we've got mostly upper 40s, and we had some low 50s. Now we just got a couple of 50s, Newada and Cassville, and we've got Bentonville now as the warm spot at 53. Miami still a cold spot, though, at 41. Kids getting on the bus this morning, again, a little cool, upper 40s, calm winds, and mostly clear skies. Just a few clouds this afternoon as well. 74 when the bus brings them home. Those northwest winds, again, gusting upwards of 30, and low to mid 70s are where we're headed. So for our highs today. Now, tomorrow, we're actually going to, that's tonight into tomorrow, rather, is when we're going to notice the difference from that cold front. So we're going to be about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow. But it's a short cool down. Talk about that and the weekend forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a tractor trailer crashes late yesterday evening on I-44 over Downstream Boulevard near the Missouri and Oklahoma border. The tractor trailer was teetering on the edge of the roadway, about to topple into the grassy median. Now, evidence points to the male driver most likely experienced a medical emergency. He was rushed to a Joplin hospital, and his current condition is unknown. A female passenger was not injured. Sergeant Jared Delzell confirms that the Joplin Police Major Crash Team is investigating the collision. Well, Missouri's governor signs a law that supporters say will strengthen the state's energy infrastructure and opponents say could increase your bills. Now, the bill signed by Governor Mike Kehoe covers a wide range of electric utilities issues. Now, one aspect of the law will allow utility companies to charge customers for the construction of new electric generating plants, potentially raising electric rates across the state. Now, the Consumers Council for Missouri had estimated that electric customers could face an additional $1,100 in annual charges under the legislation. However, the governor says the law is a major step forward in strengthening Missouri's energy infrastructure and supporting long-term economic development. Well, Pitt State and Franklin Technology Center have announced a new partnership to support future technology professionals. Starting next year, 10 Franklin Tech students each year will receive full tuition and fees to attend PSU's Crossland College of Technology. Now, the scholarships are renewable for 2 or 4 years, depending on the student's program. Now, the partnership also includes ongoing support, events, and promotional resources to encourage student success.
It began to be talked about last August, and just a tremendous opportunity for some young people that maybe college and a technology degree would have never been possible. So the opportunities are amazing, and we're excited about this.
Now, school leaders say this collaboration is designed to build a stronger, more affordable pathway into tech careers. Well, President Trump announced a 90-day pause on most of his previously announced tariffs going into effect. However, KOAM's Lonnie Walton found that some residents in the 4 states are preparing for whatever happens next.
Get a handle on things. If we don't continue down the path that Trump has us on right now, we are going to end up seeing a lot of persecution in this nation.
Tammy Brown is a business owner in Webb City. She says she understands tariffs aren't fun, but she says no pain, no gain.
So we're doing the things that we need to do to adjust right now. But again, we have to look at the long-range benefits.
And while many think these benefits in the long term will help, Treasurer of Jasper County Democratic Party, Austin Reed, says the approach is all wrong.
I think that while he says that this is like short-term pain for long-term relief, the short-term pain is going to be longer than what he says it is if his goal is to reshore manufacturing and if he actually does.
Austin says if the tariff situation doesn't settle down, things could get worse.
I think there's a possibility that he's trying to deliberately put the country into a recession. I'm much more inclined to believe that his intentions on things that he does are negative, and if he puts the country into a recession, that allows people like Elon Musk and people like Mark Zuckerberg to kind of go on fire sale on cheap stocks.
Meanwhile, Brown, who is also a business owner, is preparing for changes.
Prices going up, well, they've already gone up. We've had to make adjustments for the last 4.5 years, and it's constant adjustments in my home, it's constant adjustments in my business because all the supplies have gone up.
Reporting in Jasper County, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, we mentioned that the president extended the period before most of the tariffs go into effect. However, tariffs on China are still slated to happen as scheduled. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Well, the latest from Washington as President Trump's tariffs take effect on the world market. Plus, one Missouri woman is making it her mission to show that there are more to chickens than we might realize. And Chris will have your forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, a blow to the Trump administration. Yesterday, a federal judge ordered the government to resume refugee admissions and reinstate funding for resettlement agencies. The International Refugee Assistance Project sued the Trump administration. They argued the government's actions violate statutory obligations approved before Donald Trump took office. Immigration rights advocates accuse the administration of defying obligations and leaving vulnerable families in limbo. Well, President Donald Trump may have paused reciprocal tariffs for 90 days, but some groceries may still be getting more expensive. Now, that's thanks to the 10% tariffs that went into place last Saturday. Supermarkets sell imported items in every section of the store, and experts say shoppers can expect to see prices rise on seafood, coffee, fruit, cheese, nuts, and candy bars. Now, items that contain ingredients and packaging like plastic and aluminum could also cost more. Experts say perishable food prices will be the first to rise. Shelf-stable goods will then follow. Now, price hikes will depend on the size of the companies. Large suppliers like Campbell and Kraft Heinz may have more flexibility to manage the burden of tariffs than smaller producers. Well, last-minute tax filings can often cause you to make avoidable mistakes. Now, here are some savings tips as you scurry to file. Bankrate, the consumer financial services company, says tax filers need to carefully play detective on their last-minute filings to avoid refund problems. Now, the tax experts say make sure your digit entries on your Social Security number are correct. Confirm your bank account routing number and account number if you do direct deposit. Now, double check your filing status and don't miss deductions you're allowed, such as student loan interest and retirement contributions. Now, if you never claimed your tax refunds from 2021, April 15th is the last day to ask for it. Now, lastly, be aware of scammers claiming you need to make payments by gift cards or wire transfers. Well, today, President Donald Trump is expected to meet with his cabinet at the White House. Now, it comes a day after he pressed pause on his punishing reciprocal tariffs against most countries except China. Now, the move sparked an ongoing surge in U.S. and world stock markets, though some U.S. business owners say the move just adds to their uncertainty. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Wednesday's Wall Street rally rippled across the world. This morning, global markets opened much higher after President Trump paused his punishing tariffs for at least 90 days. The decision less than 24 hours after they kicked in.
The bond market right now is beautiful. But yeah, I saw last night where people were getting a little queasy.
Acknowledging investor unease was linked to his decision. The baseline tariff now 10%. The White House says up to 70 countries are pushing for talks, but China is retaliating, upping their tariff on U.S. goods to 84%. President Trump hit back with a 125% tax on Chinese imports.
China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate.
What's the biggest point of frustration right now?
The biggest thing, the uncertainty, not knowing what is going to happen in 1 month, 2 months, 6 months.
Minnesota soybean farmer Bob Worth hopes the trade war ends quickly. He sells most of his crop to China.
Our president will get something done that we'll be very happy with at the end. But it sure is stressful until that time comes.
While farmers wait to sell, tariffs have prompted some iPhone shoppers to stock up.
I figure I'd get in before the prices went up.
Ahead of yesterday's pause, the European Union announced its own 25% tariff on some U.S. goods starting next week. The president's advisors predict those could also be delayed. Jared Hill, CBS News.
House Speaker Mike Johnson has delayed a vote on GOP budget package that's key to President Trump's economic agenda, including an extension of his 2017 tax cuts. Now, some conservatives have declined to support the measure over concerns it will add to the national debt. After a closed-door meeting last night, Johnson says he still believes the bill could come up for a vote as soon as today. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're looking at Skywatch Storm Tracker. Again, as I mentioned, a few clouds out there, but we will see even fewer clouds as the day progresses after this frontal boundary pushes through. It does make us a little cooler. Skies over Joplin for right now are still mostly clear. We're looking pretty good. We will be a little cooler today, though. We'll talk about that and how cool it's going to get Friday with that full forecast here in just a few more minutes.
Well, chicken is not just for dinner. One Missouri woman has a different mindset and passion. Now, she's helped foster, rehome, and helped hundreds of chickens. She started an organization to help chickens that are past their egg-laying prime and to show people the birds are more than just food or eggs. Avery Martinez has more.
Blossom is an ex-commercial egg-laying hen, which we refer to as spent. She hit her first molt. When they hit their molt, they stop laying for about 2 to 3 months, so it's cheaper for egg producers to get rid of them.
That's when Erica offered Blossom a new life.
Want to stay for just a minute?
She's now the unofficial mascot of Second Hen, Erica's organization rehoming and fostering chickens released from egg facilities.
She just decided she liked humans better than the other chickens, and I rolled with it.
But she didn't start out loving humans.
She didn't have any feathers. The comb on top of their head waddles very, very big.
That changed as Erica coaxed her out of her shell.
I love them a lot, and I wish more people saw them how I do.
Erica's been helping hens for years after growing up on a farm where she had barnyard animals. She felt she needed to do something.
I couldn't find anything, so I decided to start something myself, and that was Second Hen.
Setting up foster homes, training owners, and teaching classes at the Missouri Botanical Garden.
I think the common misconception is that they can't be loving animals. Chickens make amazing pets. Look, she's crawling on your lap. She just met you. She's a very sweet, sweet bird.
Now 5 years free range, Blossom's her mom's closest friend.
If they still have so much love left to give, I mean, why not give them a chance?
But for now, it's small scale.
We just don't have the resources to do that. We don't have the money. We don't have a location, any sort of permanent stuff. That's why we really do the things like the photo shoots where we try and show you these chickens.
She hopes these will raise awareness and funds for the birds.
Chickens are amazing. I could talk about them all day.
Well, Erica Camp says she considers the term bird-brained an insult. She says it should be a compliment, as many birds, especially chickens, are very intelligent. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're doing all right so far this morning. Some of us a little cooler than where we were yesterday, and that's courtesy of cold front pushing through. We're going to be much cooler as we head into our Friday. We'll have another look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News just after 6:22 now on this Thursday morning, getting closer to the weekend, and our day starting off pretty decent. Got just a few clouds. See, there's a couple of them right there. Our camera in downtown Pittsburgh, but our camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking back to the north, looking pretty good as well. Of course, traffic is moving. It's always a good thing when traffic is in motion. And I'm taking a look at the future track. Again, not a lot going on with it, which is good. We need a break from everything we had last week, and we're definitely getting one. At the passage of this cold front, the only thing we're really gonna notice today is gonna be those gusty northwest winds. They will switch pretty quickly. Our temperatures will actually warm quickly until we hit about noon or so, and then they kind of start to level out. So we'll be just a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but again, not significantly so. Skies will clear as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Gusty northwest winds continue, and our temperatures, again, a little colder tonight than where we are now. We're falling back into the low to mid 40s for most of us. We go through our Friday. Now we'll have gusty north winds, plentiful sunshine, but with the north wind coming in, it's bringing in that cool air, and we'll actually still be about 10 degrees cooler tomorrow than what we're expecting today. But worry not, because by Saturday, the warm air begins to return. As you can see, overnight from Friday into Saturday, yeah, it's going to be chilly. Low 40s, maybe even a couple of upper 30s. I'm not looking at being at the freezing point, but some upper 30s will be possible. But the winds will begin to shift for us, initially out of the southeast as we head into Saturday afternoon. Now we've got a south breeze, and that will help increase our temperatures, putting us back to where we're expecting to be really today. So Friday, a 10-degree drop from today, then Saturday, a 10-degree rise again, back into the low 70s, and we'll be even warmer yet on Sunday, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. Right now in Joplin, as you can see, skies pretty clear out there. Winds are calm, and we're sitting at about 47. Around the area, the majority of us are into the upper 40s and the low 50-degree readings. We got 53 is the warm spot down there in Bentonville, and Miami is still the cool spot, sitting at 41. But again, otherwise not a bad start to the day. You already see those wind arrows out of the northwest as well as that cold front continues to roll through. All right, mostly clear skies through the morning hours, so just a few clouds, low 50s to start, making near 70 by 11. So that's why I was saying our temperatures warm pretty quickly, and then they begin to level out for us, and we're going to be in the low to mid 70s for most of us. And again, those northwest winds gusting to about 30 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Clear skies, temperatures a bit cooler already, and then back down to the low 40s tonight. Northwest winds still gusting to 20. Those north winds tomorrow gust 20, maybe 25. Sunny though, just cooler. Warmer Saturday, even warmer by Sunday. So now we're talking a 20-degree jump from Thursday as we go in the low 80s for most of us on Sunday. Still breezy though. Next week, temperatures not bad, 60s, 70s, and of course we got some pop-up thunderstorm chances as we head toward the middle of next week that we'll keep an eye on for you. That's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Lisa now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, pregnancy-related deaths are rising. Now, that's according to a U.S. study published in JAMA that showed a 27% increase in deaths from 2018 to 2022. And the biggest cause of pregnancy-related deaths is cardiovascular disease, followed by cancer, mental and behavioral disorders, and drug and alcohol abuse. Now, if you've noticed your allergies getting worse in recent years, climate change may be to blame. A study published in the journal Laryngoscope showed that because of climate change, pollen seasons are longer and pollen concentrations are higher. By the end of this century, pollen season in the U.S. is expected to last an additional 19 days. Well, do kids perform better in school when they're given universal pre-K? Well, a study published in the journal Economic Inquiry showed kids in states that offered free pre-kindergarten were more prepared in math and reading than kids who weren't. However, the study noted that those improvements tended to fade by the end of kindergarten, suggesting that students needed to be supported in the early elementary grades as well. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, election results in Goodman have voters wondering what happens when one candidate wins 2 offices.
And we've got another pretty decent day out there, a bit breezy, a little cooler. We'll have a look at forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, it was signing day for one Pittsburgh high school student, but not for athletics.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It is Thursday. It is April the 10th. Thank you so much for joining us here. Of course, it has been a nice week across the area.
Certainly has.
And we've got a pretty decent weekend ahead of us as well. We're getting that much closer to the weekend. But we still have Thursday to get through.
Right.
We got to get through Friday as well. It's just the way
Not too bad though.
No, it's not going to be too bad at all. Yeah, 2 more days and we are going to be relaxing out there. At least some of us will, I'm sure. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got mostly clear skies, a couple of clouds here and there, nothing too crazy going on. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking good as well as these folks get their day underway. And on to the future track we go. So again, mostly clear skies, just a few clouds here and there. We'll have that northwest wind behind this front. It's going to start to increase as we go through the morning and into the afternoon, and it will bring our temperatures down just a bit compared to yesterday, but we got a bigger temperature drop as we head into our Friday, which we'll talk about. All right, 47 in Joplin, 46 in Pittsburgh. So again, we're a little cooler this morning for some of us compared to yesterday, but still not bad, and thankfully not in the 20s and 30s like we saw at the beginning of this week. Upper 40s, low 50s for most of us. Again, Miami, the cold spot at 41, then just down the way, Bentonville is the warm spot still at 53 degrees. Kids getting on the bus this morning. We are looking into the upper 40s, calm winds and clear or mostly clear skies out there. A few clouds this afternoon, 74. As I mentioned, as northwest winds pick up, they start gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Heading into the evening and overnight, skies will clear out. And again, our temperatures, they'll warm up quickly to this point, but then they just level out. They won't keep rising into the afternoon. We'll top out most of us in the low to mid 70s. As I mentioned, it's going to be a bit colder for us, at least cooler for us on our Friday, but it is a very short-lived cool down. We'll go over that with you, plus the weekend forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
There we go. All right, Chris, thanks. Well, authorities in Kansas say they have identified the victim in a 52-year-old cold case. The victim, who has been identified as Jimmy Allen Dollison of Kansas City, Kansas, was discovered 3 miles southeast of Garnett, Kansas in April of 1973. Authorities say Dollison was around 20 years old at the time of his death, which the coroner has ruled a homicide. Now Dollison has been identified and his siblings discovered thanks to the results of DNA testing and a national database of missing and unidentified persons. The KBI and the Anderson County Sheriff's Office continue to investigate the circumstances of Dollison's death and have reached out to the public for help. Well, Girard welcomed Special Olympics Kansas to town for the Unified Bocce Ball Tournament. The event has grown over the years and 90 teams of 4 came to compete, which represented more than 20 different schools or adult teams. Like many Special Olympics competitions, the event served as a great way to have fun and sow the seeds of lifelong connections.
It's awesome, especially now. I think we have 90 teams is what Olivia said, so that's a lot of people coming together to have fun, especially in Girard, which is where I grew up. I mean, I played basketball on these courts a million times, and to see all these teams out here and come and have fun, it makes my day. So.
Well, Special Olympics Kansas has served the community for more than 52 years. And it's a significant achievement to be accepted into the prestigious Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a dream for many and now a reality for one Pittsburgh high school student. Dominic Bach has been awarded a full academic scholarship to MIT. Family, teachers, and friends gathered to celebrate his ceremonial signing to congratulate him. And while those who know Dominic are well aware of his capabilities, they tell us they remain consistently amazed by his relentless ambition and dedication to shaping his future.
He's a teacher's dream because he keeps you hopping. You know, he always comes up with a new idea or maybe a new path.
I apply a Dominic mindset or a Dominic mentality to everything that I do, and that means that it doesn't matter what it is or it doesn't matter why you're doing it. You should apply maximum effort.
By the way, Dominic is the son of KOAM's own Tanya Bach. Now that means a lot of us here at the station have known Dominic his entire life. We know Tanya is proud. We all are as well. Well, it's a race that may have some Goodman, Missouri voters confused. J.R. Fisher and Clay Sexton ran against each other for two different positions, mayor and South Ward alderman, with Sexton winning both races. KOAM's Samantha Walker explains what this means for the city.
This April, officials with the city of Goodman submitted their desired ballot content to the county, as confirmed by the McDonald County Clerk's Office. But it's a situation that has the Elections Division with the Missouri Secretary of State's office checking their statutes. The two same people ran for the two same positions, with one person winning both, Clay Sexton.
I'm a lifelong resident, have volunteered for years prior to being on the board when I was first elected in 2020. Once the other candidate had signed up for both and no one else signed up for either or, I went ahead and signed up for both after making sure that it was legal.
The Missouri Secretary of State's office says it would be reasonably obvious that one person should not be mayor and alderman at the same time. If the same candidate wins both positions, typically the position that candidate didn't want would be left open as a vacancy. According to Sexton, Goodman also has a city code that would disallow someone from holding both positions. Prior to election night, Sexton said if he won both races, he would take the position of mayor and nominate someone for the vacant alderman seat.
I do have the choice of which seat that I want, but I want this seat after consulting with my wife and my family and what we think will be best for the town moving forward.
He says it's then up to the board to either accept or deny who he nominates. The seat will stay open until he nominates someone the board accepts.
I want someone that's going to think of the betterment of the town, that's going to be open-minded.
The McDonald County Clerk's Office will provide the results to the city of Goodman in a letter after their verification board certifies them on Monday. After that, it's up to the city of Goodman to determine how to proceed because the McDonald County Clerk's Office has no authority in the matter. Reporting in Goodman, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, according to the Secretary of State's office, there are no statutes regulating what happens if the same person wins multiple conflicting offices. A spokesperson for the office says that what is happening in Goodman is the generally accepted procedure. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The price of eggs isn't stopping consumers from record spending this Easter holiday. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Well, in Consumer Watch this morning, President Donald Trump's tariffs on imports have caused an economic shakeup, but it's not stopping shoppers from spending this Easter holiday. On today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at how much your celebration could cost.
Easter spending is expected to soar this year despite a lot of economic uncertainty.
Consumers are expecting to really go out for Easter this year.
The National Retail Federation estimates consumers will shell out more than $23 billion this year, with people spending around $189 per person on average. That's up $12 from last year. Catherine Cullen from the National Retail Federation says even though some items are more expensive due to inflation, it's not holding people back from shopping.
Through all of these tumultuous times, consumers have been very protective of these holidays.
According to the NRF's recent survey, consumers will spend the most on candy and food. Nothing says Easter like an egg-stravaganza.
Easter is our highest consumption period of the entire year.
Emily Metz with the American Egg Board says Americans are expected to eat or decorate 3 billion eggs this spring season. The good news is egg prices have come down in the last few weeks, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Met says fewer avian flu cases have helped stabilize prices, but they're still much higher than this time last year.
That has made a significant impact. It's allowing our system to recover.
So how can shoppers save this holiday?
Certainly think about which decorations you can reuse from last year, whether or not you can encourage people to participate in a potluck.
Colin also recommends painting wooden eggs instead of real ones. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Speaker Mike Johnson delayed a vote on a GOP budget framework. Some conservative Republicans have balked at President Trump's push to include an extension to his 2017 tax cuts without including further spending cuts as well. While talks continue, and Speaker Johnson says he still believes a vote will take place before the chamber's planned recess at the end of the week. Well, according to an FDA alert, Agrimark is recalling more than 1,700 pounds of Cabot Creamery extra creamy sea salted butter because it could contain coliform, a type of fecal bacteria. Now, the recalled product comes in packages with 2 4-ounce sticks and was distributed across 7 states. However, the company reported that it had received no complaints or reports of illness and had recovered 99.5% of the affected packages before they were sold to consumers. And he's not just Ken. Mattel has unveiled its first Ken doll in the likeness of a professional athlete, NBA superstar LeBron James. Now, the company says the doll celebrates King James's championship caliber skills on the court and his contributions as a cultural curator and trendsetter. The LeBron James Ken doll will be sold starting next week for a suggested retail price of $75 at a select Target stores and at assorted retailers online. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good this morning. Something's a little cooler than yesterday, but honestly, near average for temperatures this morning. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Take a look at that sunrise. Again, just a few clouds out there, and they will continue to remain few until eventually there are none by later this evening. MoDOT camera 22nd, my goodness, 20th. And range line. Looking back to the north, looking pretty good this morning as well as we get this day started. On to the future track we go. And other than the northwest winds, there's not a major impact today from this cold front passing through. There's no rain expected. Skies are going to remain mostly clear. We are a few degrees cooler, but not enough that it should be a significant difference. It's tomorrow we start to see some, well, tonight into tomorrow, we start to see some changes. So our temperatures, really interestingly, they warm up pretty quickly as we head into the early afternoon. Then they will top out at most of us into the low to mid 70s, and they'll just kind of stay there for a little bit before they'll actually start to fall later in the afternoon into the evening, which will lead to a little bit of a colder night for us overnight tonight. But the good news is both tonight and tomorrow night, even though it's going to be pretty cold, not looking at freeze levels out there, which will be good. 47 in Joplin right now. We're sitting at 49 in Pittsburgh. Majority of the area into the upper 40s with some low 50s out there. Miami again still looks to be the cool spot at 41, and the warm spot still Bentonville sitting at 53. And you can kind of see where that wind shift line takes place. That front just slowly sliding on through here. And again, nothing major from it. Just a little bit cooler today, but colder tomorrow. All right, kids getting on the bus this morning. Mostly clear skies, upper 40s. Winds will be calm, but as we go through the morning, those winds will increase behind this front, and that will, that will allow those winds to start gusting out of the northwest up to 30, and will eventually make again about 74 when the bus brings those kids back home. We're having another look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as birthdays and anniversaries. But first, here's what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Vladimir Dutip. Tomorrow on CBS Mornings, it's a tradition unlike any other. Jim Nance joins us from Augusta to talk about the start of the Masters. And Emmy-nominated actor Megan Fahy will be in studio to tell us about her latest movie thriller called Drop. That's tomorrow on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for those Thursday birthdays, and we're going to start with Everly Guffey, celebrating birthday number 5. Happy birthday.
And a happy 10th birthday to Adeline Midget in Columbus.
And in Joplin, Abigail George, celebrating birthday number 11 today. Happy birthday.
And a happy 17th birthday to Dirk Kegler over in Fort Scott.
And down to the southwest in Girard, Haley Valley, celebrating birthday number 24 today. Happy birthday.
And happy 65th birthday to Kevin Schufbach over in Farlington.
And our neighbor in Crestline, Mary Jones, celebrating birthday number 82, says happy birthday from the Crestline girls.
And happy birthday to Kim Watson in Arma.
And our list continues with the anniversary of Heather and Joel Merritt in Parsons. It is the third one of those. A very happy anniversary to the Merritts.
And a happy birthday to George Hitchman.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And if you would like to celebrate with us, Elise, as always, has some information for you.
Yes, go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen and to also include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
And of course, very important information and some very important information for you as you head out the door. It is a bit chilly this morning, but not too bad in all honesty. Taking a look live camera downtown Pittsburgh, 4th and Broadway. We got some clouds out there, sun beginning to rise. It's a beautiful start to the day so far, although again a bit chilly in some places. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline, again looking back to the north, looks fantastic as well. Future track for today, we're going to have the northwest winds. They're going to start to increase behind that front today, and they'll be gusting upwards of about 30 miles an hour. But outside of that, temperatures, yeah, they're a little cooler, but not too cool. We'll be into the low to mid 70s for most of us and just a few clouds here and there. Now, overnight, those skies will clear, and those winds still out of the northwest tonight, gusting up to 20, keeps bringing in cooler air behind that boundary. So what we'll start with Friday morning is a little cooler than today, low to mid 40s for most of us. And that also means those north winds, as they continue to gust through our Friday, pushing 20, maybe 25 miles an hour, even though we're going to have abundant sunshine out there, our temperatures won't warm nearly as much. In fact, most of us are looking to be about 10 degrees cooler for our Friday than what we're expecting today, which also, of course, means cooler by day. In most cases, it's cooler by night, and we're looking to fall back into the low 40s once again Friday night into Saturday. Could even get a couple of upper 30s. Thankfully, not to freezing status, but could get a couple of upper 30s out there. However, take a look at the wind arrows by Saturday morning. Beginning to shift on us out of the south and east. By the afternoon, they are coming in out of the south. Another day of plentiful sunshine, and those south winds now kicking that cool air back out of here and bringing in warm air. So by Saturday, we'll go back 10 degrees warmer than Friday. So we're just going to kind of play this little game here with the temperatures. We're going to be in low 70s today, low 60s tomorrow, low 70s again on Saturday. And then believe it or not, it actually gets even warmer as we head into our Sunday. It's another 10-degree jump from Saturday into Sunday. Great view of that sunrise. Our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Another beautiful start to the day, again, albeit a bit chilly. 47. Skies are clear and the winds are calm in Joplin, but as I mentioned, that will not last long. Most of us, at least this morning, into the upper 40s and low 50s. Miami still the cool spot at 41, and Bentonville still the warm spot at 53. Similar to yesterday, at least at this point, temperatures aren't moving very quickly across the area. Then yesterday, boy, through most of the morning show, temperatures barely budged one way or the other. It was a degree or two change, but they really just kind of steadied out. However, what's going to be interesting about today is through the morning, we're actually going to warm up a little faster than what we did yesterday, but then we'll stop warming earlier than what we did yesterday. We kept warming into the afternoon, and some of us even got into the upper 70s. It's not going to be, of course, the case today, but what will happen is through the morning, our temperatures rise pretty quickly, almost 20 degrees in just a few hours, but then they reach that point where they level out. So low 50s to start, upper 60s. It's been a morning already. Upper 60s by 11 o'clock this morning, just a few clouds out there. And then they'll level out shortly after that. We'll go over more of your forecast with you here in just a moment. We're also going to have the news you need to know. And of course, if you switch over to us on Fox 14 at 7 a.m. or you keep it right here on KOAM Plus, we're going to tell you, or we're rather going to take a look at the effects that a concussion may have on children. But that's only if you stick with us 7 a.m. Fox 14 or stay right here with us on KOAM Plus.
And here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Pitt State and Franklin Technology Center have announced a new partnership to support future technology professionals. Now, starting next year, 10 Franklin Tech students will receive full tuition and fees to attend PSU's Crossland College of Technology. Now, school leaders say this collaboration is designed to build a stronger, more affordable pathway into tech careers. And Missouri's Governor Mike Kehoe signs a law concerning utilities. The one aspect of the law will allow utility companies to charge customers for the construction of new electric generating plants, potentially raising rates. However, the governor says the law is a major step forward in strengthening Missouri's energy infrastructure and supporting long-term economic development. And authorities in Kansas say they have identified the victim in a 52-year-old cold case. Jimmy Allen Dollison of Kansas City, Kansas, was discovered 3 miles southeast of Garnett, Kansas in April of 1973. Dollison was around 20 years old at the time of his death, which was ruled a homicide. The KBI and the Anderson County Sheriff's Office continue to investigate and have reached out to the public for help. And to check up today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, again, a little cool this morning, not bad later today, low to mid 70s, a few clouds here and there, and those northwest winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Into the evening, clear skies continue. Our temperatures drop a bit more back into the low 40s for most of us. Clear skies and northwest winds gusting to 20. Friday, though, it's a 10-degree drop in temperatures, low 60s, gusting north winds and sunny skies. That'll lead to a cold night again Friday night into Saturday. Saturday, though, we turn around, warm up. Sunday, breezy, low 80s, and then not bad next week with those temperatures and some rain chances next Wednesday and Thursday.
Righty. Well, coming up today at noon, we're making the perfect pineapple casserole in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. Now, this morning, Dustin Luno from the Joplin Fire Department shares why it's so important to have a family fire plan.
Plus, one Missouri woman is working to show that there are more to chickens that just rather than just laying eggs. I've been trying to get chickens on the morning show for a while now.
Yes, you have.
I think they're really cool.
Maybe this story will convince other people that we too need to have chickens on the morning show.
We absolutely need to have some chickens here on the morning show.
More to them than just the eggs.
Oh, man, exactly.
Yeah.
Want some live chickens in here. I mean, it could end up being chaotic, but I think it'd be a cool idea. Well, that is going to do it for us for now. We will be back here tomorrow morning on a Finally Friday at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.